The smell of fresh asphalt is thick in Summit County this summer, with CDOT working on Highway 9 through Frisco and Interstate 70 from Vail Pass to Officers Gulch. Summit County also has road work planned, including projects in Summit Cove, the Heeney area, and smaller works scattered across the county. We talked with Robert Jacobs, the County Road and Bridge Director, for a preview of work starting this July and what to expect come September on Boreas Pass and Swan Mountain Road. Phil Lindeman, Krystal 93 News Director, in the studio today with Robert Jacobs. He's a county engineer and road and bridge director for Summit County. Robert, thanks for joining me today.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity, Phil.
Absolutely, and we are talking summer road work. County just finished up with some bids for summer road work, and we'll start right at the top. What's some of the first projects people will be noticing across the county this summer?
First project people will see is going to be the continuation of the work in the Summit Cove area on the Cove Loop project that we've been calling. Anticipating work to start there in early July.
Great, and that's been going on for a few years now. Where did it start with? You know, it's called the Summit Loop project, correct?
The Cove Loop project, kind of the big picture of that project is to add some bike lanes and pedestrian safe areas around the central roads in Summit Cove. So we started on Summit Drive, and we've been working our way, I guess, from the aerial view clockwise through the loop. Did last year through in front of Cove Elementary School, and this year last year we left off at Whispering Pines Ranch Road, where we'll be picking up this year and continuing north beyond what we call in the causeway, kind of that slight area that needs to be widened, stopping there and then continuing on to finish hopefully next year.
Great, and like you said, to hopefully finish by the end of next year. And that's a pretty big, pretty in-depth project, but also, like you said, making it safer for pedestrians, bikes. It's a neighborhood back there.
Exactly.
Needs that.
Yep. Great. One of our definitely most dense local residential areas throughout the county. So.
Great. And then what is coming after that? I know you got some work north of town in the Heeney area.
We'll be doing a couple of projects in Heeney. The first one, kind of in conjunction with work the Forest Service and the Marina are doing to improve and increase their capacity. We'll be doing some work to stabilize the road and kind of create a more durable and dust suppressive surface on the approach to that with the increased traffic that we're anticipating.
Yeah, great news for anybody who uses that regularly. That's going to be getting pavement out there.
Not pavement, but something better than the dusty gravel.
Always nice. And then along with the Heeney work, there's some culvert replacements coming up later this summer. So not really coming up real quick, but happening towards the start of fall?
Yeah, that's right, Phil. Excuse me. The there's a culvert in the Cove Loop project. They're kind of in the middle of it in Summit Cove that we'll be replacing. We're working on a design for that right now. Anticipate work for that to be completed and closures associated with that later in the fall, probably late September, early October would be my guess at the moment. Have a similar project on Little Beaver, west of the Dillon Valley neighborhood, where it connects to the town of Dillon, Silverthorne area. Similar time frame on that one. Expect closures on Little Beaver later in the fall, late September, early October.
Great, and I know it's a little far out to be thinking ahead as far as what those closures will look like. Do you think that it will be causing major diversions, or will it be pretty minor as far as closures go?
Those will be road closures, but fortunately in those locations we've got alternatives, and hopefully they won't last too long, as far as maybe even being able to keep roads open overnight and just during the day during road work closures. The Summit Cove one being the exception to that. That one will probably be a few days of actual closed road. But it's the connection on the backside, so there's always going to be an alternative.
Great. And then finally, there's still some proposals that will be going out soon for some repaving work on Swan Mountain and Boreas Pass.
Yep.
What'll be happening there?
That's correct. We got two proposals getting ready to be released for some additional repaving on Boreas Pass Road, continuing what we did last year. Road that's in need of updating, and then Swan Mountain Road from Sapphire Point east to Summit Cove. We resurfaced a number of years ago, and it's time to do some preventative maintenance on that. So hoping to get a chip seal down on that section of road, depending on contractors' availability.
And along with some of the other work that we have happening later in the year, there's also some more dam work that will be happening. When does the next begin?
It'll be after Labor Day. A larger closure, more extended closure after Labor Day is as close as I know right now to remove those pop-up barriers that were put in a number of years ago.
And along with that, there's also some other work that could be coming up?
Yep, number of other projects throughout the county, far too many to really remember or list, but I'd say the other big one is on Swan Mountain Road. The town of Breckenridge is building their second water treatment plant, and here through May and maybe a little into June, I take that back. We're almost into June already, so it's going to be into June. We'll have some closures on Swan Mountain Road associated with that project as well. Of course, for all closures, you can sign up on the county's website for the alerts so that you can receive those when those closures happen.
Great. How does this summer compare to most summers in terms of road work? Is this about what you usually have, or do you tend to have more projects than this?
No, I'm going to say this is more than we've typically been able to complete. There's a lot of work to be done, and we're finally getting caught up.
Great. Always good to hear that road work is getting done, because it does need to be done. Just be aware that, of course, closures, sometimes you can't avoid them.
Yep, got to beware of the closures, beware of the people working out there. Be safe.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Robert, for coming in, talking a little bit about county road projects across Summit this summer.
Thanks, Phil.
Phil Lindeman on Krystal 93.